My name is Lina. I am 35 years old and I work as a nurse in a small clinic in the city. My life has always been simple. Every morning I wake up early, drink a cup of coffee, and walk to work before the streets become busy. At the clinic, my day moves quickly. Patients come one after another. Some arrive in pain, some arrive afraid, and some only need someone to listen to them. I clean wounds, prepare medicine, check temperatures, and try to comfort people when they feel weak or lonely. Nursing is not an easy job. My body often feels tired, and sometimes I work long night shifts, but helping others gives me a quiet happiness. When a patient smiles and says thank you, I feel that my work has meaning. Before last year, my personal life was calm and predictable. I lived alone in a small apartment near the clinic. It was not beautiful or modern, but it was peaceful. After work, I usually went home, took a shower, ate something simple, and rested. I did not go to parties or restaurants. I did not have many friends in the city, and I did not have a boyfriend. Love was not something I expected for myself. I believed I was an ordinary woman living an ordinary life. On my days off, I visited my father, who lives in a quiet village outside the city. He is getting older now, and I like to help him with cooking and cleaning. We sit together drinking tea and talking about small memories from the past. Those visits always made me feel calm and safe. My father never asked why I was still single, and I was grateful for that. I told myself that work and family were enough. I did not think about romance or relationships. I believed love belonged to other people, not to someone like me. I never considered myself attractive. I am not very slim, and I rarely wear makeup. My clothes are practical because I spend most of my day working. My hair is short and simple, and I never learned how to dress in a fashionable way. Over time, I convinced myself that men would not notice me, so I stopped hoping for attention. Life felt stable, even if it was sometimes lonely. Everything began to change on a normal Monday morning when a new doctor joined our clinic. His name was Daniel. He was younger than me, about 32 years old, tall and confident, with kind eyes and a warm smile. The other nurses immediately noticed him. They whispered about how handsome he was and joked about who would work closest to him. I listened quietly but did not think much about it. I assumed he would become friends with the younger, more beautiful nurses, not with me. Later that same afternoon, the clinic became extremely busy. Patients filled the waiting room, and I rushed from one room to another trying to finish my tasks. While I was organizing medical supplies, I heard someone call my name. When I turned around, Daniel was standing behind me, asking if I needed help. I felt slightly embarrassed and told him I could manage alone, but he smiled and said we were a team and should support each other. He stayed beside me, helping calmly and efficiently. His kindness surprised me. Many doctors focus only on their own work, but he treated everyone equally. After that day, Daniel began speaking with me regularly. Every morning he greeted me warmly, asking how I was feeling or whether I had slept well after night shifts. During lunch breaks, he often chose to sit near me. At first, I felt shy and unsure why he paid attention to me, but his conversations were easy and natural. He remembered small details about my life, like my favorite tea or stories about my father. Slowly, I found myself smiling more at work. One evening after a long shift, I was waiting for the bus, feeling exhausted. Suddenly, a car stopped beside me. Daniel opened the window and offered to drive me home. I hesitated because I was not used to accepting rides from colleagues, but I was very tired, so I agreed. During the drive, we talked about our daily routines and childhood memories. His voice was calm, and I felt comfortable speaking with him. When he dropped me at my apartment, I realized I had forgotten how tired I was. That night, I kept thinking about our conversation and felt a strange excitement inside my heart. In the following weeks, Daniel and I spent more time together. Sometimes he brought me coffee in the morning. Sometimes we walked together after work. I began to look forward to seeing him every day. My mornings felt brighter, and even difficult shifts became easier because I knew we would talk or laugh together. For the first time in many years, I felt noticed and appreciated. I started caring more about my appearance and choosing nicer clothes. These small changes made me feel alive again. One weekend, Daniel invited me to watch a movie with him. I was surprised but happy. I spent a long time preparing that day, looking at myself in the mirror and trying to look my best. When we met outside the cinema, he smiled and told me I looked beautiful. Hearing those words filled me with warmth and nervous joy. After the movie, we walked through a nearby park, talking for hours. The evening felt peaceful, and I realized I was developing deep feelings for him. However, everything changed one afternoon when Daniel asked to speak with me privately. His expression was serious, and I immediately sensed something important was coming. He told me that he was married. For a moment, I could not understand what he said. I felt shocked and confused. He explained that he had been married for 4 years, but that his relationship with his wife was unhappy. According to him, they lived like strangers, sharing a house but not sharing emotions. His words touched me, yet they also created discomfort. I liked him deeply, but knowing he had a wife made me question everything. I wondered why he had not told me earlier. He admitted he was afraid of losing our connection. That confession left me feeling both special and uneasy. I began to struggle with my emotions. Part of me wanted to continue seeing him, while another part felt guilty and uncertain. A few days later, I went to a supermarket on my day off. While shopping, I suddenly heard Daniel's voice. I turned and saw him standing with a beautiful woman. She was elegant, confident, and smiling warmly at him. They laughed together, and he looked happy. I realized she must be his wife. Watching them from a distance hurt more than I expected. If his marriage was truly unhappy, why did they look so comfortable together? I left the store without buying anything, feeling confused and emotionally shaken. That evening, I understood something important. My feelings for Daniel were bringing me more worry than happiness. I did not want to be involved in a relationship built on secrecy. The next day at work, I asked him to talk privately. I told him what I had seen and asked what he truly wanted. When he answered that he did not know, I felt my heart break. His uncertainty made me realize that I could not continue in a situation where I might always come second. With great difficulty, I told him I needed space. Walking away from him was painful, but I knew I had to respect myself. That night I cried, yet I also felt stronger than before. For the first time, I chose my own emotional well-being instead of my feelings for someone else. During the following week, I focused on rebuilding my routine. I worked hard, visited my father, and spoke with my close friend Maya, who reminded me that I deserved a relationship built on honesty and commitment. Slowly, my heart began to calm, even though I still missed Daniel. One evening, my phone rang and his name appeared on the screen. After hesitation, I answered. He asked to meet and talk. We met in the same park where we once walked together. He looked serious and told me he had spoken honestly with his wife. They both recognized their marriage had been unhappy for a long time and decided to separate respectfully. Hearing this brought mixed emotions. Part of me felt hope, but another part felt cautious. I told him that if we were to build something together, it must happen slowly and honestly. He agreed, saying he wanted a real relationship without secrets or confusion. As I walked home that evening, I reflected on everything I had learned. Love is not only about strong feelings or romantic moments. Love requires clarity, respect, and emotional responsibility. I realized that my value does not depend on someone choosing me during a difficult time. I deserve to be chosen fully, openly, and sincerely. That night, I stood in front of my mirror and looked at myself carefully. I saw the same woman I had always been, simple, hardworking, and kind. But now I also saw strength and self-respect. I finally understood that I had spent many years believing I was ordinary, when in truth, I simply had not recognized my own worth. This experience changed me deeply. Whether my future with Daniel would succeed or not, I knew something important. I would never again accept a love that required me to hide or doubt myself. I learned that loving yourself is the beginning of every healthy relationship. Today, my life is still simple. I continue working at the clinic, caring for patients, visiting my father, and enjoying quiet evenings at home. But inside, I am different. I no longer believe love is not meant for me. I know now that real love starts with respect for others and for oneself. If you are listening to my story and feeling uncertain about your own relationship, remember this: you deserve honesty, peace, and a love that makes you feel secure. Sometimes walking away from confusion is the first step toward true happiness. And for the first time in my life, I can look at myself and say with confidence, I am enough, just as I am. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need to hear these words today.